I can't be bothered to make my own videos anymore. I put all this effort into not murdering you and get nothing in return. That's why, for this next challenge, you guys are gonna create the videos. That's right, you're all split into the dark and light teams, and you'll need to plan out your own sand videos together. You'll all come up with the challenge, script, assets, edits, music, and more. I'll turn your ideas into actual videos, and Evan Esther here will judge them. Wait, Evan Esther? Listen guys, I wanna see a lot of creativity, banger background music, and maybe a joke if it's funny. Well, the team that makes the worst video will lose a life, while the better team will win 15 sand dollars. Get working. In the betas, Brizzle realizes everybody but Max is on the light team. They suggest that Max throw the challenge for their team so that most of the betas win. So Max secretly asked me to add crazy things to their team's video. We'll see what that looks like later. On the light team, Brizzle does their research on previous sand videos. They then proceed to come up with almost all of the ideas for the video, as the rest of the team stays silent. Brayden researches Evan and notes his hatred of Stuart Little and his love of the Persona 5 soundtrack. They also offer Brizzle a life for doing so much work. And now let's see those videos. First, the light team's video. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers. Little Luigi here, Sand Season 10.1, Episode 26. Let's jump into it as we take a look at our favorite Final Four historical figures. We've got Adolf and Alexander in the lead with 2 lives, followed by Attila and Caesar with 1 life each. Uh-oh, looks like we're getting close to the end. Our challenge today is Punchy Bandits. If you forgot, the goal of this challenge was to remove the enemy team from their train carts before they removed you from yours. Each turn, players could move up or down 1 space, or they could choose to punch across the train carts with their special extending punch gloves. If 2 players moved into the same space, they would both be pushed back to where they started. If you were punched, you were out, even if you hit an enemy on the same round. The winners got 10 sand dollars each, and the losers lost a life. Now let's see how the players did. In the first round, Alexander and Attila practiced poor communication and move into the same spot, causing both players to go back where they started. Which is perfect for Adolf, who immediately extends his punchy glove into Attila, knocking him off the train. Attila is out, but his team is not down. Caesar moves down a space. For this next round, Adolf moves down 1 space and Alexander moves up 1 space. Caesar extends his punchy glove into the open space across from him. Sad. Adolf and Alexander examine each other with their fake fists and knock each other out of the competition. Caesar also extends his punchy glove to feel useful, and thanks to him, his team won. Both Caesar and Adolf gain 10 sand dollars each. Unfortunately, that means the other team loses a life, which means Attila lost his last life and is now out of the competition in 4th place. Good job doing so well, Attila. You get 5 little Luigi points. Moving on to confessionals. Adolf shared, "Hey guys, I think we're not real." Hey, wow, and so that was Alexander's last confessional. Anyways, thanks for watching, bye! I'll give a good old 7 for being good. Nothing more, nothing less, just good. Now the Dark Team's video, which Max sabotaged. Warning, includes photosensitive and ear-damaging content. Little Luigi here, welcome to episode 14 of Sand Season 2048. Our 4 remaining contestants are Sharkboy69, Turtle of the Real Variety, Matchbook 20, and Lil Nas X. Our special contestant has returned from the last challenge. In mini round 1, Sharkboy69 used jump to reach rung 2. Matchbook 20 climbed to rung 1. Lil Nas X climbed to rung 1. In mini round 2, Sharkboy69 climbed to rung 4 and used sabotage on rung 3. Matchbook 20 climbed to rung 2. Turtle of the Real Variety climbed to rung 1. Turtle of the Real Variety was lowest on the ladder, so they lost 1 life. Everyone else had nothing happen to them. Honestly, it may actually be the worst video I've ever watched. Sorry, Dark Team, but your lack of planning along with Max's sabotage has cost you all a life. That means Brandon and Turtle are eliminated from Sand Season 2. The Tomato Town is gone forever. The rest of you gained 15 sand dollars, however. Scythe says, "This is a sad day. I was sabotaged by, I assume, Pikachu, given that Max is allied with me and everyone else was on 1 life. Now Turtle, my ally, is dead, and Max is gonna be low. Brayden is gonna pay for this. I'm gonna continue working with Max Fecto, but the next few rounds will be just struggling to survive." Max tells me, "I feel really bad for throwing that challenge since I ruined a challenge I was otherwise really excited for, but it was a necessary sacrifice if I wanted to survive longer. I apologize to Turtle, Brandon, and Scythe for betraying them and causing 2 of their deaths. My next plan is to kill anyone in Brayden's alliance before I'm screwed."
All 4 of the other weebs were on Team Cyan while I was on Team Red, so I planned to sabotage my team. Instead of actively sabotaging like I intended to, I ended up doing nothing. I don't know who submitted those edits, but that was far worse than anything I could have done.
Brayden is pretty scary right now. I'm hoping he loses some health on his own soon, since I don't really want to go against either of my alliances yet. Hopefully I can pit them against each other without revealing my involvement. Eventually though, I might have to openly pick a side. But my ultimate goal is to make it to the final 4 with Angel, and together, we'll take down whoever remains.
Angel tells me,
I want to try and pit the weebs and betas against each other and coast along while they slowly whittle away.
Mesrock9 tells me, to be honest, I have no idea how I got this far, let alone with all 3 lives. Now let's go see the shop. Brayden buys a first aid kit for Brizzle to reward them for carrying their team. Masrock buys a first aid kit for Angel so they no longer risk dying. Angel buys a first aid kit for Max to keep them above 1 life. Finally, Brizzle buys and uses the Luigi clone for this next intense challenge. This challenge, you'll be wandering in the woods for 3 nights hiding from a monster, and that monster is one of you. Their goal is to turn everyone else into a monster. Each night, you must pick another player to trust you who you've never trusted before. If that player picks you back, you'll be safe for the night as long as none of you are monsters. Otherwise, you'll become a monster and won't even know it. Also, on night 2, the monster gets to choose someone to convert. They'll become a monster at the start of the night without anyone knowing. Once all 3 nights have passed, the monster will steal money from all the players they've converted. Meanwhile, the 2 players who trusted the least normal players will lose a life. So even if you become a monster, you'll want to keep trusting normal people. If not everyone is a monster by the end though, the original monster loses a life. Also, for Force Sandalize, you can prevent a player from trusting another in case you want to cause some trickery. And since Brizzle used their Luigi clone, they can guess who the monster is at any point, and if they're correct, they will be converted into a monster that night, no matter what. Now let's see who the monster is. It's Scythe. Let's see their plan. Despite supposedly allying with Max, they decide to keep their monster status a secret. They silently choose someone to trust, except they don't realize they need that person to trust them back. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, nobody in the Weebs claims to be the monster, and it's the same for the betas. This leaves Angel and Brizzle to believe that Scythe is the real monster, and they use this to their advantage. In the Weebs, Masrock volunteers to be the one to trust someone outside of their alliance. They ask Max if they can trust them, but Max claims they're trusting someone else already. Masrock informs the Weebs of Max's refusal and suspects they are really trusting Chicken. To prevent this, they pay 4 Sandalize to prevent them from trusting each other. Sacrificing themselves, they decide to trust nobody. Brizzle and Angel see this, yet they decide not to tell Max. We'll see how that plays out later. First, Scythe tries trusting Masrock, but he doesn't reciprocate. In fact, Masrock doesn't trust anyone and becomes a monster. Next, Max trusts Chicken and Chicken trusts him back, but Masrock breaks their trust with the $4 they spent. Then Pikachu and Brayden trust each other, and Angel and Brizzle trust each other too. That leaves us with 4 monsters already, and Scythe didn't even have to do anything. For night 2, Masrock once again requests Max's trust, and Max agrees this time. However, in the betas, they say they're lying and are actually trusting Brizzle. Brizzle and Angel, however, agree to betray the betas for this round and trust the Weebs instead. They end up controlling who becomes a monster. First, Scythe decides to convert Brayden into a monster since they've been riding the top of the leaderboard for so long. They also trust Pikachu, who doesn't trust them back. Then, Brizzle and Brayden trust each other, turning Brizzle into a monster. However, Brizzle guessed that Scythe was the original monster and their Luigi clone saves them. Next, Masrock tries trusting Max, but Max betrays them. Instead, Max trusts Brizzle, but they were betrayed as well. Chicken trusts Angel, but Angel doesn't trust them back either. Instead, they trust Pikachu, and Pikachu trusts them back. For night 3, Angel and Brizzle try to balance things out by trusting the betas this time. First, Scythe trusts Angel, but of course gets no response. Then Brayden tries trusting Angel, but they left them hanging. Masrock tried trusting Brizzle, but he also left them. Angel and Max trust each other, but this converts Angel into a monster. Brizzle and Chicken then trust each other, and this converts Brizzle into a monster. That leaves only Pikachu left. And they did nothing. They did nothing. Congratulations, Scythe! Despite not trusting any players, you converted everyone into a monster. Have some money! But you also didn't trust any normal players, and neither did you, Masrock. So, you both lose a life. Oh, nobody's eliminated. Now let's see if anybody noticed those betrayals. Max tells me, looks like I either got betrayed by one of my allies, or I finally lost it to paranoia. I apparently only trusted one normal player. I'm starting to get very suspicious of Brizzle. In the betas, Max accuses Brizzle of knowing of these shenanigans from the other alliance. He's actually correct this time. Now looking at the leaderboard, we see Scythe brought down to his last life all alone. Meanwhile, the rivalry between the weebs and betas are starting to emerge, while Angel and Brizzle sit back and watch. Well, next round, I'm giving you guys all the power in the world. You'll be able to cause almost anything to happen with the chaos of wheels. Find out in the next episode what those wheels will do. Will mass chaos ensue? How much trouble will they get into? And will the betas or weebs come through? Better watch the video to find out. Thanks Brizzle, Max Vecto, The Mighty Chicken, and Sounds Awesome Bozo for supporting my channel by hitting that join button. And thanks Pikachu, Brizzle, and Angel for voice acting in this video.